There's a lot of stuff out there labelled as belly dance, which is nothing of the kind. So today I'm going to look at 4 things that I think every belly dance performance should include. Hi, I'm Kashmir, and for the last 25 years, one of the things I've been working on is trying to work out exactly what is belly dance. It's a lot more difficult than you might think. Blood is drawn over this question. And over the years, I've come up with lots of different ways of looking at it, balancing the various elements. And you can see the whole trail of it on my blog and on my old website. But now I think I've reached the answer. I think there are 4 things that every belly dance performance must have, and 7 things that it should have a number of. So this is looking at the first half. What must be in a belly dance performance? So the first thing is, belly dance uses the torso, the hips, the ribs, the shoulders. The proportion of it depends on what sort of belly dance you're talking about. So Egyptian belly dance tends to be very hip focused, whereas the Turkish style tends to be more upper body. American belly dance tends to favour the Turkish, or at least it did. It's now becoming more Egyptian focused, and therefore it has a lot of upper body work. Further, they've taken the term belly dance literally, and you also see a lot of belly work in American belly dance, which you won't see in other styles. However, there are plenty of other dances that have hips. You've got salsa, hula, jazz. Why aren't they belly dance? Well, think about it. Salsa comes from Cuba, hula from Hawaii, and jazz is an American fusion dance with a wee bit of African roots. And belly dance comes from the Middle East, or the Middle East and North Africa. Exactly where in the Middle East will depend on who you talk to. So most Egyptians will tell you belly dance comes from Egypt. Turks will tell you it comes from Turkey. There are those people who say, well, it actually belongs to the whole of the Levant. That's the eastern end of the Mediterranean. And some people will include Greece in here. Others will extend it to the whole of the Middle East. And then others will insist that you add North Africa to it as well. So this allows you to include things like the Ouled Nail and Shikat. Of course, Egypt is in both the Middle East and North Africa. Sometimes people forget that Egypt's in Africa. However, not every torso-intensive dance in the Middle East is actually belly dance. We have 2 more elements. The next one is intent. Why are you dancing? There are many different reasons for dancing, but I can tell you what belly dance isn't, which might be easier. Belly dance is not about improving your warrior skills. Belly dance is not about contacting your deity, and belly dance isn't about telling stories. It's more about social connection. You often see it talking about as being a dance of celebration. So weddings, births, circumcisions, bring along the belly dancer and entertain. She can entertain you, and you get up and dance yourself. So it's a celebratory. Everyone gets together and have a good time, but they have a good time as individuals. Number 4. This is the hard one. Approach. There's a number of elements to this. One is that I think that belly dance should have passion. That doesn't mean sexual passion. It doesn't mean you always have to be happy. But if you're deadpanning it and you're way off with the fairies, I don't think you're actually in the belly dance zone. This one is actually really hard to get, and it will probably be the last part of the dance that will click into place for most people. It doesn't mean if you're not dancing with a belly dance approach, you're not belly dancing if you're actually trying to get there. So I'm not dismissing learners who haven't got there, but I'm saying that you should be aiming towards a belly dance approach. And what does that mean? I can't really tell you in 5 minutes. It's one of those things like, art. I know it when I see it. So in 5 minutes, I can't tell it to you. 5 hours. I think what you need to do is you need to get out you who are watching, get out and actually watch some Middle Eastern dancers dancing belly dance. And you won't get it in 50 hours. 500 hours you might be getting there. Find videos of good Middle Eastern dancers who are born in the Middle East, and good ones, because again, not everyone who's born in the Middle East is actually a good dancer, and watch how they generate the movement, how they approach the music, what's their musicality. Watch how they switch between the drum and the melody, between an instrument and the voice and the actual lyrics of the song. And you only get it by watching, actively watching the same video over and over again. These days we're so lucky, there is so much material available on the internet. I can hear some people bristling saying, well, why dancers born in the Middle East? Why not my favourite dancer XYZ? It's all about the accent. There were some excellent dancers who weren't born in the Middle East. There's nothing wrong with their dancing, but on the whole, they tend to dance with an accent. Now, if you want to learn English, your first choice is probably not going to be a native French or Japanese speaker. Your first choice is to actually go and learn English with someone who speaks English as a first language. Your first choice when you're learning belly dance is to learn it from someone who's coming as a first language, someone who absorbed it through their pores as a child and only later put on the technical polish of a professional dancer. There's no shortcuts for this one, and I think it really is essential. So, what are your essential elements of belly dance? Put them down in the comments. Do you agree with mine, or do you have a different set? Next video, we'll be looking at some of those optional elements.